Max Verstappen managed to claim pole position at the end of Friday's qualifying session in Austria. Max Verstappen managed to grab pole position by pipping Charles Leclerc at the end of Friday's eventful qualifying session at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. The Dutchman went quickest with his final lap of the day and will line up at the very front of the grid for Saturday's sprint as a result of his strong showing. Verstappen will be closely followed off the line by Leclerc, who came up just short in spite of his best efforts in Q3 but still managed to finish ahead of his Ferrari teammate Carlos Sainz, who was only good enough for third place. Sergio Perez, meanwhile, was able to get himself up into fourth with a decent lap and will be aiming to trouble the drivers ahead of him over the course of this weekend's sprint event. It was a disastrous qualifying session for Mercedes, though, with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell both crashing out in the final minutes of Q3. The former lost control at turn 5 and was unable to prevent his car from skidding into the barriers before the latter spun out at the last corner, leaving the Silver Arrows with plenty of work to do overnight in order to fix both cars in advance of Saturday's on-track action. Goodbye, that's all we've got time for this afternoon. Thanks for joining us to follow today's eventful qualifying session at the Red Bull Ring, with Max Verstappen grabbing pole position ahead of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. We'll be back for tomorrow's sprint, which is set to get underway at 3:30 p.m. Catch you then. Verstappen speaks, "It was a very long wait of course between the two runs," says Max Verstappen in his post-session interview with Sky Sports F1 after securing pole position for tomorrow's sprint in Austria. "That is never great. Once you are in the rhythm you want to keep going, also the track temperature dropping, the wind changing a little bit, but in the end it was a very tight qualifying and it is a really challenging track to get everything right. There aren't many corners but the ones you have are quite tricky and easy to make a mistake. I am quite happy with pole but also tomorrow and Sunday you can get the points." Verstappen grabs pole, Charles Leclerc goes quickest before Max Verstappen regains top spot with his final lap of the day. The Dutchman will line up at the front of the grid for tomorrow's sprint at the Red Bull Ring. Carlos Sainz ends up in third, with Sergio Perez fourth and George Russell fifth.